Welcome to a Sunday edition pregame Down South Sports Fanatics. What's up?
Breaking news. We got a special guest in the waiting room.
We do.
Bring him in, man.
We got a special guest.
Who's the guest, man?
Whoa! H-Town!
H-Town
back in New Orleans.
You finally back?
H-Town, man, he's coming to brag about the fucking Texans, man. That's what he's coming to do, man.
I'm starting CJ Stroud. Hey, I lost my quarterback. I'm starting CJ Stroud.
You should started since week 4.
Well, I've been using your boy from Minnesota the last 2 weeks, dude.
He ain't been bad.
Since Chris is in here, y'all have fun. I'm going to bounce out. Y'all, so
it's like the most disorganized beginning, but let's do it, man.
Yeah, go ahead. Y'all have fun. Chris is here. Y'all enjoy.
We're good. What's up, my brother? How you been, brother? Happy holidays to you.
Thank you. You too.
You been all right?
Been all right. Been a little sick, man. Got a little sick again.
Man, I tell you what, it's going around. It's going around with everybody.
I was sick in the beginning of December. All my kids were sick. My wife just got sick. I got sick Wednesday, and now we're back. So,
well, that's good. Good thing we can talk about everything now.
Lord.
Let's dive into it. A couple of good games today. I think it's pointless at this point. I don't think the Saints are winning the division. We don't want them to. We want a high pick. This game has a lot. I mean, I agree with Dave. I don't want Atlanta to move ahead of us and get Jaden Daniels.
I think it's a real possibility.
I'm a little all over the place. Y'all gonna have to speed catch me up here. So where's Atlanta at in terms of draft? Where are the Saints at in terms of draft? I thought y'all were like pick 9 or 10.
It's close, man. They're very close. I mean, one win apart. So I mean, it's very close. I mean, and we still play them. Remember, last game of the season's at with Atlanta.
Yeah. Yep.
I would say tank to the Buccaneers and tank to Atlanta and just take your tails between the legs and just kind of shoot for that draft pick, man. That's where I would go.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it sucks, but Carolina's not taking a quarterback.
Go ahead, Rich. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. If Fatty just put it up just now, H-Town, we third right now in the division.
Third?
So we tank it, we draft ahead of both of them.
Can Fatty look up right now who the draft standings are currently as they sit without any?
Yeah, I'm sure he definitely could do that. He can look up the draft standings real quick. Draft order.
Hey, but I go back to this whole thing though. I mean, it's a difference between. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, but some fans, man, don't get it. And I'm not trying to, down any fans there. But like what Chris is doing with the Texans right now.
Yep.
They're okay if they finish a game outside the playoffs because they're a young team that was, they had their bad days and now they're on the up and up. We're this team that's like caught in this purgatory of mediocrity. And it's like for us to miss the playoffs by one game, it's freaking useless. It's meaningless, But for them, I mean, like if we were where the Texans were right now, I mean, dude, you got to be excited, even make or miss the playoffs right now, Chris. I mean, you got to be feeling good about where the team is.
All right, right now the Saints would be 12 because Chicago and Carolina are both tied at 1. But they got them ranked at 11 right now, but they would be 12.
What up, Jerry?
Carolina has no pick, so yeah. So that's
okay. So it goes to Chicago. So they're Saints are 11.
Chicago gets 2 great picks,
and there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks way before the Saints. So I don't think
there's so many quarterbacks. Though.
Yeah,
I mean, there's still a good quarterback at 12.
Okay, as of right now, go ahead, Chris. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, not everyone's going to have quarterback. I mean, you got Marvin Harrison. You got a few wideouts.
Yeah, two offensive tackles that'll probably go top 5 or 6 as well.
I think, believe it or not, everybody keeps saying Marvin. Everybody keeps saying Marvin Harris. I get it, but I think Neighbors is right there with him.
Who?
Neighbors, LSU.
Oh, Malik Neighbors. Yeah.
I mean,
he's a hell of a receiver. Absolutely.
I mean, think about it. He had better stats. He had better stats than Harris if you look at him, and he played in a tougher conference.
He had a better quarterback too.
But I would say Harrison, the whole thing is he's got a better receiving core around him. Like, I mean, let's be real. Ohio State every year, man, it's like they got 2 or 3 legit pro prospects. Not saying LSU is far behind a receiver, but, man, Ohio State's got another cat that's going to be, probably next year is going to be a top 10, 15 pick. I mean, it's, Olave, Garrett Wilson, et cetera, Jackson Smith, the Jigba. They keep coming,
So real
go ahead, H.
There's another first-round Buckeye. It starts with the E.
Oh, Ekban, whatever his name. Yeah, the other receiver. Yeah.
Yes. But he's a really good wide receiver. You got that Texas wide receiver, Xavier. Yeah. You got that.
Hey, let me ask you this about Chris. What do you feel about the Longhorns quarterback, man? I've been seeing some mock drafts that have Quinn going really high, man. I mean, do you look at this kid that way?
He's tough. I don't know. You're going to see more of him tomorrow, but
yeah. Fatty, bring up the college rated quarterbacks right now.
Okay, well, I was gonna say real fast. The teams that are ahead the Saints right now are Chicago, Arizona, New England, Washington, Giants, Chargers, Titans, Jets, Chicago, Atlanta, than us. So that's a lot of quarterback need right there.
No, there's 2 teams. I would say Arizona.
Well, Chargers
got Kyler Murray, yeah.
Chargers, don't need
Chargers got Herbert.
The funny thing is, I agree with you, H, is what is Arizona and Chicago going to do?
I think Arizona's got to keep Murray, right, Chris? I mean, I got to think you got to keep Kyler Murray.
Here's the thing, man. They played really damn – I don't know, man. They played really strong without him.
Mm-hmm.
But they played really good with him, too.
See, to me, are you going to get any trade? Are you going to get the trade value you want? Let's say that Fields might have a little more. I mean, was this okay? So to me, Fields has maybe a little more trade value because Murray's more injury prone, and that's my reasoning behind it.
And he's younger.
Yeah,
I think Chicago sticks with their guns and drafts Marvin Harrison. I think Arizona comes in.
Well, remember they're gonna have 2 top 10 first round picks. So you can go Harrison. I think this is just me. I think Chicago may take Harrison and Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, they could take a quarterback.
All right.
See, I'm telling y'all, I'm going against the heavy passing with Chicago, man. I'm still saying we pulled up that stat last time. I remember Poncho was trying to contest me on cold weather. Listen, dude, Chicago, how many 4,000-yard quarterbacks that place has ever seen? You know what I'm saying? There's not many. It doesn't happen.
What's up, Kathy? What's up,
how many quarterbacks have they drafted that were really good?
No. I mean, I get that. But I mean, look, Cutler wasn't the worst quarterback out there, and he was a guy, in Denver. He eclipsed 4,000 yards. He was a guy that could, get the passing game going. He was a little erratic at times, but I mean, it's just a hard place when you get into mid-November on in Chicago. Don't think you're going to throw the football. I mean, we all remember that 2006 NFC Championship game with Drew Brees and Rex Grossman, where the ball looked like a Nerf ball in a
let me ask you this: could the possibility of say Harrison's gone before Chicago? Say they don't use. I don't know. Maybe they don't. Could they possibly maybe move back, thinking they can get Jaden Daniels? And listen to this: if Marvin Harrison's gone already, if they move back, still get Jaden Daniels and Neighbors.
Yes, they
I don't
could.
know. I mean, yeah,
that's possible. You know what? I say that, and you know what, Richie? I would say the Bears wouldn't do it with Caleb Williams, but they did it last year with fucking Bryce Young. To get another haul, probably greater, knowing that Caleb Williams is just 3 times bigger.
I think.
Than Bryce
I don't know if y'all would agree. I don't know if y'all would agree with me, but I think if a team comes after Justin Fields and gives them a great offer, I think they're gonna take it.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you because I was going to say no, but they did it last year with Bryce Young being at number 1. This is Caleb Williams. He's probably as sure thing as you can get, right?
Yeah, but Do you really believe that now after this year, the way he acted?
Oh, he's better than Bryce Young. Yeah, he's better than Bryce Young.
But I mean,
I'd take 3 quarterbacks over Bryce Young in this draft.
I will.
already.
Okay, I agree with that. But you think his draft stock may have gone down because of the shit that went down this year?
Chicago's so hungry, Fatty. They're so hungry to win. It's not.
Here's what's going to help him. His agent already said he's going to the scouting combine.
But you think he's the number 1 overall pick?
No, it's possible. It's definitely possible.
He's already said he's going. His agent already said he's going to the scouting combine. When he gets to that scouting combine, he's going to blow them scouts away.
Honestly, if I'm Chicago, I draft down.
I agree with that, Chris. I agree with that. I agree.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because I think you got more needs than just a quarterback. You can. I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can set your team up for years. You can set your team up.
That's
really
what I'm saying.
Go ahead, H.
I agree with what you're saying, but I don't disagree. I kind of disagree because if you take into the fact that you need a quarterback, I mean, look at the Texans, and thank God it turned out the way it did. Because everyone was kind of conflicted with wanting Bryce Young. I like Bryce Young still. I don't think nothing's wrong with the kid. I think he just has a horrible team around him.
Agreed.
But the Bears, Caleb Williams and Bryce Young are on 2 different levels.
Well, I will say the Bears are better than the Panthers on paper.
No, take the Bears out of it. I don't care about the team. I'm looking at the prospect. Look at last year. You had Young, Stroud, and Levis, and Richardson. And right now, there's only one we can say that's probably a surefire, legit quarterback. There's other 3 have huge potential. Caleb Williams, I know, is like he stepped on the field. He's gonna win some games.
I agree with you, H, and I'm not just saying this because he's from USC. I think Caleb Williams is gonna. I think he is pro ready right now.
I think the bigger question, y'all, is this. I mean, okay, so let's be real. In order for them to draft Caleb Williams or Drake May or Jaden Daniels, you got to move on from Justin Fields because, I mean,
yes.
Let's be real. So here, what I'd like to bring into the mix is who's that team that could come up and go get Justin Fields off your hands if you are interested in doing it. To me, and Atlanta makes a lot of sense. Atlanta's in that
there's reports Atlanta's willing to give them 2 first rounds and 2 second rounders for him right now.
They got Atlanta taking Jaden Daniels.
Why not the Saints?
Yeah, I mean, the problem with the Saints is I think Atlanta's got a better cap situation. And I know Richie hates that word, but right now Atlanta can absorb that salary from Fields a lot better than the Saints can. I mean, the Saints, let's be real, you married the Carr's contract at least another year after this one. So, I mean, that's a lot of dead money to start pushing around.
Speaking of that, Dave, I had a friendly conversation with an accountant, and he actually does different agents and stuff. And he said, we are all foolish. And he said this came out of his mouth. No. And he said he'll repeat himself. No NFL team gives a damn about a salary cap.
Oh, absolutely. Tell this guy, get his ass on here. I will fucking run him through the mill.
If they did,
I will make him my bitch on this show.
Then he said if they did, they should fire everybody in Denver for about to eat $39 million.
Get this guy on here, man. And I'm telling you, I will exploit that dude like I exploited Buccaneer Brett with that other podcast.
Exploit the situation.
No, I'm going to explain why it works.
I'm going to let you talk.
San Francisco 49ers and Eagles,
I'm going to let you talk for 5 minutes then. I'm going to let you talk for 5 minutes then. Exploit the situation in Denver's going on right now then.
You see Chris shit ain't
it's got nothing to do with the cap. Denver's Sean Payton didn't want Russell Wilson from day one. He knew he wanted to draft his next quarterback.
And you think the Saints want Derek Carr?
All along.
And you think the Saints want Derek Carr?
He was saying, want Derek Carr? Absolutely, they wanted Derek Carr because they freaking quoted him. They won him from the Jets basically in free agency. So you absolutely wanted Derek Carr.
Since me and you don't see eye to eye on this, I want to get H's. Give me your opinion on that.
But one thing before Chris talks. And I'm gonna give Chris the floor too.
Okay.
But here's my thing. This is why we're fucked right now. Is the salary cap? You have dead money. You have Michael Thomas money. You have restructures that get pushed down the road. This is why you're screwed right now. You lost Teron Armstead, top 10 left tackle.
Dave, we're not talking about the Saints. We're talking about Denver.
Right hand, where the hell he plays.
We're not talking about the Saints. Quit talking about the Saints. I want to talk about Denver.
But Richie, look at how you always say, hey, how do the 49ers keep getting all these players? Well, they're paying Brock Purdy league minimum.
But you're dancing around every other team. Talk about Denver.
What about Denver? Denver's fucking irrelevant. I don't care about Denver. It's a story. It's a story that'll go away in 2 weeks. Russell Wilson will be somewhere else next year.
So why is Denver going to eat? Then why is Denver going to eat? Why is Denver going to eat $39 million? Don't care.
Richie, it's an entirely different situation than us. Every team has a different situation.
Okay.
Absolutely
That's just-
different situation. Not even close to the same.
So do they care about their cap or not? Yes.
Richie, absolutely. Every team cares about their cap, but here's the bigger problem. If you got a head coach that's coming in that's the new sheriff in town,
Yep.
he and quarterback one
Yep.
don't get along at all, they're going
Yep.
to eat that cap for 1 year because, Richie, that cap number, if you look at the cap on Spot Track or any other website, the dead money disappears after next season. So they're going to take the hit. They're going to draft a rookie quarterback with a low salary per year so they can fit that guy in there and it'll offset the cap hit. Right now, the Saints can't offset a cap hit of $30 million with Derek Carr and go sign Justin Fields and pay him a lot of freaking money. That's why I keep seeing these forums. Everybody's like, oh, get Kirk Cousins, get this guy, get Russell Wilson. You can't because you can't absorb the cap hit like the Broncos might be able to.
Yeah,
It's a different story.
It's a rookie quarterback and nothing.
Fatty, can you pull up where Denver picks? I don't know where.
I think they're top 15
Okay,
right now.
Dave, so say they don't get a rookie quarterback.
No, they will get a rookie quarterback.
They have to, Richie, or they'll be starting Darius Smith or some retread.
Okay, so
We're
Denver's
looking
different in the whole
at
equation. We got to make sure they get
14.
the NFL's going to make sure they get a quarterback. All right.
What do you mean? There's a rich quarterback draft, Richie. It's a very loaded draft.
Yeah, it's a very loaded draft.
And where did they pick Fatty?
14.
Okay,
And
so also
they got him picking a corner. So I mean, that's
so a quarterback's going to follow them at that pick.
Absolutely. They can get the third or fourth best quarterback.
So a quarterback's going to pass up the Saints and get to them.
unless they move up.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah.
Oh, so the Saints are going to pass up a quarterback to give it to Denver.
No,
Richie. Well, I mean, you still can have a quarterback. Like Chris made the point. A
You
good
can
point.
grab
when
a
this
quarterback, don't mean
podcast
he's
started.
good, Dave. You can grab a quarterback, don't mean he's good.
But Richie, Chris made a good point a while back. He said there was, remember, and some people doubted him, and I thought it made a lot of sense. There could be 6 or 7 quarterbacks going in the first round this year.
Let me ask you this, Dave. When have you known Sean Payton to draft a rookie quarterback?
That's who I want the Saints to get right there.
Wait, say this now. Why
when have you known Sean Payton to use his first round pick on a quarterback?
You didn't have to because you're one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Richie, you had Drew freaking Brees,
really?
and unlike these other
Drew Brees
podcasts,
was on a decline for 4 years straight, Dave. Dude, Drew Brees
Richie.
He drafted Ian Book.
Yeah, I mean, you had
you're
no
not
reason
listening to me. They had several opportunities to draft a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah,
they did. He wanted Mahomes, and he wanted Mahomes badly.
Okay, after that, Dave. After that. So you give up after that?
What do you mean?
You give up drafting a first-round quarterback after that?
Well, okay, so Mahomes came out what year? 16, 17? Where was he at? 18, somewhere in there? 16 through 18, right? Okay, so, I mean, everybody goes to the Lamar Jackson thing, which I understand. Yep. I completely get it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, after that, I'm trying to win it. Listen, you got Drew Brees. It's rare territory. Look how shitty we are since Drew Brees left. You were trying to win a second title, and you had an opportunity to win a second title. So why not go after that?
All right,
give me a big time edge rusher, a cover corner, a lineman that can take you to the next level. You don't want a guy to sit there and hold a clipboard when you got this rare window to have this unicorn Hall of Fame quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You're running out of time with Drew, so you want to win another title.
I'm gonna go on record right now, and Fatty, you can record this, and we'll go back and listen to it. I'm almost guaranteeing Sean Payton does not use that pick first round for quarterback.
What do you think he's going to do? Go sign Jameis Winston?
I don't care. I don't think he's going quarterback. I don't think he's going quarterback.
I actually seen somebody report that, and that's the biggest joke I've ever seen. I saw somebody actually say that.
What?
That he would go after Jameis Winston. He would go after Jameis Winston if he needs a number 2 quarterback. That's the way he would go after Jameis Winston.
And if he did that, Dave, what would you think about? If he did that, what would you say? If he did that, what would you think about Sean Payton?
Actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea because Jameis Winston didn't do bad before he got hurt under Sean Payton.
He was good for 1 week basically, and then maybe one other game, but he was very inconsistent.
Chime in.
I just heard that from Fatty, and I'm like, oh my god! I'm sure a lot of Saints fans got a little.
Saints fans do believe that, yeah.
I think Jameis Winston was better. I said that from the get-go. He was better under Sean Payton. Sean Payton understood.
But H, you don't think Sean Payton would bring him in just as a backup?
No, absolutely not.
I don't think so either. I'd bet money on it.
Yeah,
well, Sean Payton. Go ahead, H.
I was going to say, you guys have Jameis Winston right now with a quarterback that's not that far off of his level in that starting, and you get more of a taste of it. I mean, that's just not realistic. I will say, if you go back on Sean Payton's history and his path, I could see probably like a Kirk Cousins coming to Denver and over him and trying to. Yeah, he hasn't drafted a quarterback. And when you said that, I started thinking, God dang, he really hasn't. And he's always bombed those. And I get Dave's part too. There's always been Brees. But the one thing that's always stuck in my mind from that is the Lamar Jackson scenario. And I'm thinking now, I'm like, man, I could see a Kirk Cousins going to Denver and trying to respond. I think Sean Payton likes an older quarterback that's been around, maybe draft a later quarterback. But I think he doesn't like rookies for some reason. I just feel that. I don't know.
So are you with me? Are you with me, H, that you don't think he's going to use that first round pick on the quarterback?
I'll say this. I think it's extremely idiocracy not to use that pick because there's a lot of quarterbacks that I think can help the Broncos. But knowing or kind of think I know what Sean Payton is and how he feels about quarterbacks, I can see Kirk Cousins in Denver. So I'm leaning a little bit more towards him going with a veteran quarterback, unfortunately. I think it's silly. I think it's really silly because you're not going to win anything with that group of scrubs with no offense. I mean, you got Cortland Sutton, your best wide receiver, and you got Jerry Jeudy, who I think is the best wide receiver. Javonte Williams. I mean, come on, guys. Those guys.
Okay, Dave. So Dave, your analogy is if Russell Wilson's going to wreck their salary cap this year, so they have to take a rookie quarterback. What if they don't?
I think they're messing themselves up further. I think it's a bad decision if they go that route. I think the best thing to do is, okay, you eat the cap 1 year, you get the problem. Well, I mean, look, I'm not saying Russell Wilson's a bad guy.
You keep saying 1 year. I looked at them same numbers. He's going to count against their dead money 2 years in a row. It's not going to be as much, but he will count.
Right. The dead money's going to drop off. And that's the difference between Derek Carr and where their cap situation versus ours, with Derek Carr's dead money versus Russell Wilson's dead money. Because, listen, I know it's a boring part of the game, and a lot of fans don't want to talk cap numbers. But, dude, it's people always say, oh, how the hell we let Trey Hendrickson go? He gets 15 sacks a year. Or how we let Teron Armstead go and draft this numbnuts Trevor Penning. Because you don't have cap room to pay. It's not like they don't like the gumbo here and they don't like the weather or the crime. It's the freaking fact that they don't have no money to sign. You have to let guys walk.
I agree with you that Sean Payton was stuck with Russell Wilson. So what if the Saints do fire Dennis Allen and we get a new head coach? What if he don't want Derek Carr?
I think he's going to draft a quarterback, and Carr is going to come in, get that opportunity to rectify the situation. And this new coach is going to have him on a very.
Why do you have so much? Why do you think that? What I'm saying is on this.
I don't think Carr is going to be.
Why do you think? Well, listen to me. Why do you think everything's so hunky dory with Carr? I don't understand that.
I don't think it's hunky dory with Carr. I'm just being realistic.
I'm being to believe that.
Yeah, look, Richie, I'm realistic.
Okay, so why
I mean,
I don't think the Saints want to move on from Derek Carr.
They can't.
And this is what teams are going to give. Teams are going to give their players that they invested the opportunity to right the ship.
They can't. Not this year.
I'm not saying he will.
They stuck with him one more year. Everybody's been saying that.
Well, I know where you're trying to go, Richie. I know where Dave's trying to go. The Saints are in a bit of a different scenario than Denver is, where Denver's team is totally like, let's be real, there's nobody on that team making any money. They've got a few potential young draft picks that are in their contract for a year. And you've got an aging quarterback that's 32 that is making a ton of money. Cut the head off that snake and keep moving on. As we're the same, you've got Kamara, you've got Lattimore, you've got a few more pieces sprinkled in. You've got a quarterback that's really overpaid and not good. You're in a position to draft a good, decent quarterback right now if everything plays out in the draft. Your head coach is absolute trash. Two quarterbacks I hate are him and the Dave. What's that guy that always leaves the Patriots and comes back?
Josh McDaniels. Yeah.
Yes. Two of the worst quarterbacks, and they always get a fucking chance every year. Anyways, back on that, the Saints are just in a different position as the Broncos. I do agree. I think they should cut them. They won't, because the Saints are going to be too proud, and the GM has to look somewhat smart. I mean, come on, he has to do his job. Right. So I think the Saints are just in a different position than the Broncos right now, big time. I think you're closer to solving your issues if you lose out. You just do have a huge contract looming.
I just think it comes down to the fan base. And I think if the Saints, I'm one of them. If they come back with Dennis Allen, Derek Carr, and all that, I'm on record right now. I've been a season ticket holder for 30 years. I'm telling you, and listen, and I don't care what you say, Dave. I'm a season ticket holder. You're not. I'm the voice of the Saints. I'm a fan. I spend the money in the dome. I'm not coming back.
And you the sucker.
Yeah, I mean, look, hey, Richie, I used to go. I had season tickets for years, and I mean, to me, like I said, to me, it became too time consuming. It cost you a whole day on a Sunday, and it was wearing me out. I mean, I was But look, I'm gonna say this: it's the fans can't look. The fans have a voice, no doubt about it. And I mean, I'm a fan. We're all fans, but you can't let fans run an organization because I mean, it's you have to be. And I'm not saying. And Mickey Loomis and these guys are in charge right now. They're a bunch of fuck ups, and I'll tell them that face to face. But you have to fix the problem. But like Chris is saying, you're not going to cut Derek Carr. They're going to justify their move with Carr. I'm not saying Carr is going to work out. But I'm saying is, but here's my big issue is I still say I'm with drafting a quarterback 1,000,000% in the first round. But you got a lot of freaking decisions to make on this roster. There's problems beyond Derek Carr. Go look at every statistical category. We're mediocre. We're in the middle of the pack pretty much in every facet. When you're mediocre talent-wise, production-wise, and you have the worst possible coaching staff in the league, that's a bad combination. If you had a great head coach, let's say Sean Payton, Belichick, Tomlin, Reed, I think you're a playoff team with this roster, even as mediocre as the talent is in many areas and a lack of depth.
Well, we can't. But Dave, you keep using Sean Payton. Stop using Sean Payton. He's got his own problem. He can't even get his own team.
No, Richie. I'm just talking about a better coach. Sean Payton.
I know that, but he can't even get his own team. He can't even get his own team straightened out.
Richie, how many wins did Denver have this year?
Dave, you do realize that Sean Payton did his first season with the Saints, right?
Yeah, he got us the NFC title game.
Got it. So why couldn't he do the same?
Richie, how many teams go from drafting second overall to league championship game? It doesn't happen too often. I'm saying you maybe two in history.
Go ahead, Chris. Yeah,
go ahead.
Chris is like, I come back to this shit.
Off just the roster, I don't think the roster is the problem. I think it's the coaching staff. I think it's always been the coaching. I think your front office probably needs some tuning too. I'm sorry, man. I've never been a fan of Mickey Loomis. Everybody is capologist and all. I've heard people say that, but I think he puts you guys in this fucking mess that you guys are pushing problems down the road, and you don't have a true GM. What's that guy? Ireland? I think you'll have.
Yeah, Jeff Ireland. Yeah.
I think he's done pretty good. But I think the head coach, the offensive coordinator's
really super nice guy. I know him personally.
Jeff Ireland's awesome. Absolutely.
I would start over with him and get a nice young head coach. There's a lot of offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators out there doing great things. Come in there, give him the first round pick, number 12. Hopefully lose out.
Well, can I say this real quick?
Go ahead.
They need to call the Ghostbusters and kill the ghost of Sean Payton. That's the first they need to do.
I don't disagree.
They have to change
the culture.
Why? My thing is this, because it's been
Sean
national talk.
Payton's spirit still looming around. That's the problem.
My thing is this. It's been national talk all week. Why are we letting Sean Payton off the hook for the bullshit he's doing with the Russell Wilson situation? Period.
I don't find nothing wrong with that. You can do.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
there's your. No, come on, guys. Y'all really.
I don't give a shit about some ex-players.
You always talk about the players. Stop it, all right?
Richie, here's my thing. Are we boohooing for Russell Wilson? Please. Are we boohooing for Russell Wilson?
I don't like none of these piece of shit coaches in the NFL.
But here's my funny thing is this guy's going to get paid $34 million to basically not show up next year, and I mean you got freaking inflation in America.
I think it's bullshit. First of all, I think it's bullshit that you go to a guy and threaten to bench him because of his contract mid-season.
So what?
Rich, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I mean, I'm still a Sean Payton fan, and I mean, I don't think you have to always pick a side.
From a guy that's really not a great human being. Really?
Oh, go cry me a river.
Rich, come on, we loved him when he was here. I mean, he looks on a different. It's like the Nick Saban.
Why don't you go kiss on him then, since you like him so much?
No, but Richie, I gotta ask, why do fans in this region get so ass hurt, like with Saban with Alabama?
Because I look at a man's personal life, Dave. That's why.
No, but Richie, we acting like, I mean, let's be real. I mean, there's somebody that can replace those guys, and they could be a worse version of them.
Really? Why you think Coach O got ran out of LSU? For personal reasons.
Absolutely. But look, Richie, here's my thing. No, but Sean Payton, look, man, I understand.
You want to talk about it? We can talk about it.
Sean Payton.
I don't think it serves any point.
Really? So he lived the perfect family life. What you're saying, Patty? Right?
That.
But Richie, who's perfect?
On his own terms.
But Richie, look at last night. That's the problem. This bullshit.
Let me tell you something here, and I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna let you speak all you want. One of my greatest coaches ever in NFL history is Tony Dungy. Because Tony Dungy, listen to me. Tony Dungy always said, "We are a leader among men." You set the example for the players on your team.
And that's what he's doing. He's showing discipline. He's not showing
Really?
favoritism. He's not showing
Telling the guy,
favoritism.
so H-Town, I want your opinion. So you think it's good for these players to see the way they treating Russell Wilson about his contract mid-season?
Oh, boo-hoo, you're millionaires. Stop.
Yeah,
worrying.
Richie, it
Wrong.
does. It's meaningless in the offseason.
Oh my
So you
God.
don't think players look at that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's my thing, Richie. I don't really care about the players that do because, like Chris said, it's a shit show. Most of that team, outside of a few pieces, they need to
What
move
about
on from
free
a lot of that
agents?
anyway.
What about free agents?
Ain't no free
I
agent.
think you'll be fine with free agents. I think
What'd you say?
look, they
Hey,
have
what'd you say, H?
look,
What'd
they
you
have
say,
banks in Denver. They have ATMs in Denver.
No,
so,
wait,
I mean,
what'd you
I
say,
think
H?
free agents will come.
No free agents go in there anyways unless they severely overpay them. I mean, they're just not there to win. They're not winning.
But H, I want your
opinion.
opinion. I want your opinion on how he handled it, how he's handled this situation.
Dude, I don't like Russell Wilson. So I thought Russell Wilson was great when he was, in his younger days. I mean, he's 32.
Mhm.
I look for the future. I look for the projection. Denver ain't winning no Super Bowl. I don't care what their record is. I don't care if they were 10-7. I don't give a shit. You're not going to go in there and beat the Mahomes, or you're not going to go in there and beat Allen. You're not going to beat the 49ers. It doesn't matter. So, no, you got the wrong person on Denver. I would have benched. Number one, I would have never probably traded for fucking Russell Wilson. I don't like any quarterback that's over 31 unless you're Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I would probably say Aaron Rodgers, but I'm even nervous to say that. That's about it. Those are the only quarterbacks I've ever known over 31.
But it's funny because my friend said this about how he's handling the Russell situation. Sean Payton was asked when Drew Brees was negotiating with the Saints for his new contract, and he went back and listened to Sean Payton's comments. You know what Sean Payton's comments was?
What's that?
That's above my pay grade.
I mean, what's wrong with that?
Why can't he say the same here?
Because he knows Russell Wilson's not the future.
Yeah, I mean,
He knows Drew Brees was the identity of the New Orleans Saints. He was your franchise player. Russell Wilson is going to be yesterday's news for Sean Payton.
Russell Wilson was pushed on Sean Payton. Drew Brees
Got
was chosen by Sean Payton.
Well, now, that is true. Fatty is speaking the truth. That's not Sean Payton. That happened before Sean Payton.
All right. Sean Payton to be out of Denver within 3 years, I promise you.
I don't
know, man.
I don't think so. I think you're not giving that dude credit as a
What's
coach.
that, H?
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I'm not the biggest Sean Payton today's game fan. I think he's done pretty well in this year. It's really going to hinge on how they handle the quarterback situation. We can all agree on this. It's not Russell Wilson.
Right.
We don't know who they're going to select if they do. And if it's free agency, who do you select for free agency? So, I mean, Sean Payton, could he be?
We had this topic, Gage. Who would you rather your coach be? Sean Payton or Mike Tomlin?
Oh, man.
Look, and Rich, I'm a big Mike Tomlin fan. I mean, I don't really – there's not a win-loss comparison to me between the two. I think Tomlin's one of the top 10 coaches of all time, in my opinion.
On what team? What team?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. That's a good part of it. I mean, I'm a big Mike Tomlin fan, dude. I've never said a negative word about Mike Tomlin.
And remember, Tomlin was handed a Super Bowl team.
I guess what I'm kind of saying is I wish somebody, the way he belittled Russell Wilson on that sideline, I really would have encouraged somebody just hauling back and knocking the shit out of Sean
Don't
Payton.
pretend like that's the first time he's ever did that to a player.
Yeah.
I never seen that.
Richie, he did that to your boy Jameis a couple years ago when Jameis was throwing a lollipop ball.
I've never seen him do that.
Because you don't have to do it with Drew Brees.
Oh, you don't? So Drew Brees never had a bad game. Drew Brees never had a bad game.
But does Andy Reid go off on Mahomes? Does Belichick go off on Brady?
Andy Reid does go off on Mahomes.
I don't see. I mean, Andy Reid's looks like a pretty calm dude.
Andy Reid went off on Travis Kelce on the sideline.
Well, look, here's my. But we never know Richie, we never know the full moments about. I mean, this is some stuff that never comes public. I mean, we see it, but I mean, we don't really know what's really all going on there. I mean, but Sean Payton will lay into a quarterback. He did it with Jameis. I mean, he did it with Taysom. I've seen him get on Taysom. I've seen him, do it with other quarterbacks. He didn't have to do it with Drew Brees because, I mean, it didn't necessitate. There was no, it was nothing constituting that.
Dude, it's like parenting, dude. Coaches like parenting. Yeah. You can't be friends with your kids. You got to be their parents.
Right. I mean, look,
But
Drew Brees is bringing home straight A's.
I agree with you, Fatty. But all 53
guys.
guys, but you have to treat all 53 guys in that locker room the same.
I'm sure he does.
That's
Yeah,
the
but
one
look,
guy I do not
Drew
doubt
Brees.
do that.
You know?
So you don't stop it. Even people talk about it. If you don't think he treated Drew Brees differently, you're crazy.
Okay. Here's the thing. What's his money, his contract? It's outrageous, right? Well, he should be bitching at him even more because I would expect more from you than anybody on the fucking team.
All right,
So you are going to get the most shit.
We can move on from the Sean Payton topic. 16 years,
real quick, I want to get one thing.
One Super Bowl. Woo! Let's
but one thing,
that's more Super Bowls than we ever had before that.
Stop.
Exactly.
On,
I mean, look, Richie, Bill Parcells. Hey, Bill Parcells. Did he have to yell
Brian
at
Billett won a Super Bowl. Really? He ain't a great coach.
Richie. Here's my thing. Bill Parcells would let Phil Simms hear it, but you know who he didn't get in who he didn't screw around with? Lawrence Taylor. Look, every coach has their guy. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes this happens where there's a certain guy you don't have to go down that road.
I would love to see Parcells getting Lawrence Taylor's face like that.
No, but he got in Phil Simms' ass a bunch back in the day. But Lawrence Taylor, he knew that was his guy. You know what I'm saying? There were certain guys you don't have to. You don't see Reggie White getting yelled at. You didn't see, Patrick Mahomes getting yelled at. I'm just saying, like, there's certain players, Joe Montana. There's certain players you don't need to do that, like Drew Brees. I mean, it's just they take care of business. You don't. Why yell at them if you don't have to?
It's funny you say that because
I want to disagree with you about the Lawrence Taylor thing before you.
You good? But it's funny you say that. But John Gruden said he knew better than to yell at Keyshawn Johnson on the sideline.
Wait, who?
John Gruden. That came out of John Gruden's mouth.
Well, they never liked each other. Let's be real.
But no, he said he knew better than to yell at him on the sideline.
But the thing with Parcells with Taylor, we don't know what happened in the locker room because everything wasn't blasted on social media.
Well, right. No, I agree with that. But you didn't see him. He yelled at Phil. I can pull up some Phil Simms
player he is today if it wasn't for Bill Parcells.
Yeah, but
absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. He treated him because he knew that was his guy. That was his franchise player.
My only issue is the way he went about it on TV. And everybody's seen it.
But I don't think Sean Payton, he wasn't like LeBron saying, hey, I'm making a decision here, folks. He doesn't know the cameras are on him.
He don't? Oh.
No, I don't think he does. I don't think any coach pays any attention to that once the game's on. They're worried about calling the next play.
It's on. It's an NFL game. All the cameras are on you.
But so what? I mean, you're in the heat of the moment. What the hell is he supposed to do? I better not do this because
wait. Okay, Fatty. So you always look at different things differently. I agree with you. You saying so what? So what if Russell Wilson would have hauled back and slapped Sean Payton? You wouldn't have had an issue with that?
Yeah, that's showing disrespect to authority, man.
Richie, Richie, any business, any military group, anything, there's a chain of command, and the head coach is the top dog, and you can't do that. I mean, it's just that simple.
Hey, has any of your kids smacked you in the face for pissing
off? I mean, Richie, this ain't McDonald's. This is the NFL.
That's not his kid.
Look, Richie, somebody could throw a bunch of apple pies at somebody at McDonald's.
Listen to me. No matter if it's a job. Listen, I would not let my boss talk to me on my job like that.
So Richie,
okay, so you have to deal with the repercussions too.
Deal with what?
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, there's still a fine line.
Right.
These are grown men that get paid millions of dollars. You can't take as someone. My old lady yells at me every day. I can deal with it. I get a contract for it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, guess what? Well, you know what, Fatty? If you're gonna let somebody sit there and say that to you, that's on you. Not me.
Yes, but it's on you because you're making all that money. You need to take that fucking shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Richie. Yeah, that goes into the pussification of America to me because, like, guess what? We're boohooing. There's families that can't get gas out there, but this guy's gonna get paid $30 million to not do anything next year. He could sit out the year and he's getting paid $30 million. And we're boohooing over that.
Okay, we're booing. Okay, he's going to get paid $30. So you know what? So Russell Wilson should have looked at Sean Payton and said, hey, buddy, maybe you need to talk about your upper management because they don't want to give me the contract.
I'm
sure he might have said that.
Russell Wilson needs to stop worrying about his social life than what's on the football field.
Yeah, I think it's been blown out of proportion.
First of all, I'm Fatty. I'm not gonna let you sit here and belittle a man who lives life the right way. Wrong for you. He lives life way better than you do. I can tell you, sir.
Well, yeah, I guess so. He makes $1 million to want it.
No. I'm talking about personally, his beliefs and everything else. Don't belittle him. Don't belittle a man. Don't belittle a man. I'm sorry, Fatty. I'm not gonna let you sit here and do that. Don't belittle a man like that. That does live life the right way.
How
We
do you
talking
know
about
he
Russell
does?
Wilson, right?
How do you know he does?
Yeah.
Really? Come on, fatty, stop.
I don't know
Oh,
how he
God.
lives.
Richie. Sometimes the
Y'all
preacher is the worst
y'all
one in that
ridiculous with
room.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all need to look at yourself in the mirror sometimes.
Listen, there's
You
some
put
people
these
that
guys on pedestals and I make them idols,
Yeah.
dude. I don't make these people idols.
No, and I like that.
Nobody's
I'm with
making
that
him
all
an
the way.
idol. Nobody's making him an idol, but don't belittle the man like he lives life the wrong way. You know what? Screw
But-
football.
but
Look at him
his
as
mind is not on
you know what, Fatty?
football.
I
It's
judge a
about
person. I judge a
offensive.
person on their character. Sorry, you don't.
But
Okay,
Richie,
Martin
but
Luther
$34
King,
million,
you have a
we're
fucking
acting like this
dream
guy
too?
has been Richie, we're acting like this guy has been mistreated. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
no
still getting
shit. He's
that's
a
what I'm saying.
prick.
Like that's what I'm saying. He's getting $30-something million.
Fatty,
I mean,
it's just
$30-something million.
Stop
Some
with
people
the
like
Fatty.
to just
Stop
punch
with
him
the
in the face if
envy.
he
Stop
makes
it.
$34
Really?
million.
Stop with the envy.
Well,
That's
here's
what it
my
all
thing.
boils down to.
I'll say this: what happened last night to me was a way bigger story than that Russell Wilson thing.
I don't even know what
That's my
happened.
opinion.
What happened last night?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I fell asleep the last few minutes of the game, but I heard about it this morning with Dan
Dave, if
Campbell.
you're gonna sit here and talk about Pelicans on Sunday, I'm kicking you off the show.
No, it ain't about the Pelicans. Well, the Pelicans got a huge game tonight against the Lakers. But look, we got to. Hey, look, let's be real. That is New Orleans team right now. I don't give a shit. Anybody says,
Oh, you
want
want to talk about the?
Hey,
Are you
wake
talking about
up,
the
dude.
call?
It's the best sport we have locally right now.
It's a sport to us. I agree, but some
But
people
it
don't.
should be a sport to everybody, and people need to get the other like extracurriculars out of it. I don't care if I'm your buddy or whoever that guy was that came
Fatty,
and said, "Oh,
look, Fatty, you
I
can't
don't
force
watch the NBA
basketball
for
on
this
everybody.
reason."
Fatty
That's
don't
stupid.
like basketball.
Not anymore, no. Michael
See?
Jordan don't play.
No, I mean, look. Here's my thing. If you watch the Pelicans over the course of the season, that wasn't where I was going, but I'm just gonna say this: this is a good young team. You talk about great character guys. I wouldn't take any other 15 guys in the league with character. This team has as much character and talent and is well led as much as any team in the league. So a lot of things that people don't like about the NBA or NFL or whatever in sports, this team is not that at all.
And
They're a
according to
hard-working group
Richie,
of young
LeBron
guys.
James will die on the cross for our sins.
Hey, look, dude, LeBron's here tonight. LeBron's here in NOLA. He's pissed off about what happened last night. I want to hand him his ass tonight.
He's not playing.
Let's play tribute.
He's not playing. Oh, well, look. Hey, they're about to be at 5. Hey, Richie, remember that tournament conversation? Remember that tournament conversation we had? That tournament thing that everybody thought was so much of a big deal. The Lakers are look at the standings. Where the Lakers and where the Pelicans at.
It's not. Hey, H. He talks about the tournament like it meant nothing. If the Pelicans,
it didn't mean nothing.
If the Pelicans would have won the tournament, it would have been like the freaking Super Bowl around here.
No, it was that, Richie. I never. You go back on any pod.
Absolutely. I know guys that say they were throwing parties and stuff.
They would have never made it a big deal. They only did.
I'm telling you, Richie, I never pushed that tournament like that.
Go
I thought it was a cool thing that they're doing.
I don't follow much NBA. It's been kind of. I was kind of out of it after the super teams and all that were built, like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and all that shit, and it just kind of dropped out. I did hear the Lakers did win a little, I guess, third place trophy for the year. I think it would mean more if the Pelicans won it and are currently where they are, as to where the Lakers won that and where they are right now. So I know the Lakers are horrible, but yeah, it would mean more to the Pelicans just because they would be.
They're a young team, yeah.
But I mean, winning an in-season tournament.
I was. Yeah, it didn't matter to me, honestly. It didn't matter.
I mean, I guess my eyes are always on the big prize. It's the championship.
So, Dave, are you saying the Pelicans are going to finish ahead?
Absolutely. The Pelicans, if Zion, keyword, if Zion stays healthy,
oh, you can't use that. Don't use that. I don't like.
Oh, I got to use that because if LeBron's not healthy, the Lakers don't
do that.
But Richie, if the Lakers, if LeBron's not healthy, the Lakers aren't even in the playoffs.
Well, let's use that analogy to use it. If Zion's healthy, well, what's the odds of that?
Look, he's been all right so far. Top 4 team in the West without a doubt.
Based on the history, what's the odds?
I'm going to say they're a top 4 team in the West going into the playoffs.
No. What's the odds of Zion staying healthy based on his history is what I'm saying.
I mean, look, it's expected that he's going to miss. Well, look, we got to let it play out, man. That's all I can say. He's been healthy this year.
You dance around questions.
No, Richie, I mean, I can't predict the future. You asked me to predict the future.
I said based on his history.
I don't know.
I said based on his history.
Does he miss a few games? Yeah, but I can't say he's going to miss the rest of the season.
He misses a few games?
Oh, I mean, he's likely to miss a few games. Absolutely.
Dave, the question I'm asking you, keep not answering it.
But Richie, you're trying to get me to make a prediction on a guy's health, and who can do that?
Y'all talking about
Zion, said based on his history.
That's Richie, that's like saying, well, I mean, right now, go predict is LeBron going to miss another game?
I'll answer it for you, Dave. Based on his history, it's not that good. Okay. Easy
Who's
question.
not that good? Whoa, he's not that good.
I said, you said if Zion's there in the end, and I said,
Yeah.
how good is that the chance of him being there in the end?
Oh, no.
With
I
his
mean, I get
injuries
what you're
based on
saying.
injuries.
Well, I mean,
No, Richie, I agree
doing
with you
well
saying.
this
I mean,
year. Don't
history
jinx
proves
it. Why
yeah.
jinx the shit? He's fine so far this year. Leave it the fuck alone.
Because Zion's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. Eventually, something bad's gonna happen.
But Richie, we can't. Why have that?
You don't wanna-
If you're a Pelicans fan, you can't think that way.
you why wish it though on him?
You can't be a realist on your team.
Well,
But Richie, I mean, I'm being real. I'm just going on what we're seeing right now. They're 4 games over 500.
What'd you
They're
say,
like the
H?
what?
What'd you
fifth or
say,
sixth
H?
seed in the West.
Being skeptical based off of history.
Yeah.
I would make a more accurate decision after Mardi Gras. Let's see how he feels up on Kincaid first. And then kind of watching.
So you kind of where I'm at, H, right?
After the All-Star break.
Listen, brother. If it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck.
Hey, I mean, look.
Listen, ask Dave. Ask Dave where I was.
Yeah.
I don't like Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I don't like
And look, and I'm being real with you, dude.
Look, Derek Burnett said, Coach Burnett said 10% chance he stays healthy. 10%.
No, and look, I agree, dude. If you go back to old Saints and Sinners podcast, I like Zion. I really do. I think he's a phenomenal talent when he's healthy, no doubt about it. But I was Saints and Sinners podcast years ago. I said, man, it would be hard for me to pass on Ja Morant because I like that kid that much in college. And I mean, Ja's an idiot, but the dude is a top 10 player in this league.
They gotta get over. They gotta find a way to beat Memphis.
Oh, they do. I mean, look, the Pelicans, look, and I'll say this. If you watch this last game, they found a way to win the fourth quarter. Because you know why? And we were just talking about this on a podcast. Okay, Denver had Jokic and Murray, Bulls, Pippen, Jordan, Lakers, O'Neal, Bryant. You have to let the two stars dictate everything else. There's so many possessions where in the past, when these games that they're losing, where you got C.J. McCollum or Herb or somebody else forcing a shot that shouldn't. And I'm not saying those guys can't shoot the ball, but it has to dictate, it has to feed off of Zion and feed off of Brandon Ingram. And that happened the other night. Like Zion, hey, the defense, all converges on Zion. He finds an open Trey Murphy 3. But you got to put the ball in their hands and let it happen. You know what I'm saying? You can't let them not touch the basketball in the final minutes of the game. They have to touch the ball every possession.
I think I'm gonna agree with H a little bit on waiting until after Mardi Gras to see where. But I think before the trade deadline, I think that the Pelicans need to make a move.
If you could tell me this team stays healthy to where it is, Larry Nance looked great the other night coming back from injury.
They've been tweetering with the trade with
Jared Allen.
No, not Jared Allen. The guy Zach LaVine.
I don't want Zach LaVine. I don't want Zach LaVine at all. I don't want Zach LaVine.
Bulls there for like
huh?
Year. I remember he was good with the Bulls like a year or so ago.
I don't want LaVine at all. And it's no offense to him as a person. I think he's a good talent, but the ball stops with him. Like, to me, you have a team where if you need a point guard, you need a game managing point guard. The problem is in this day and age, there's not many of those guys around.
Hey, y'all need James Harden.
Hey, look, I mean, dude, when you watch this team, look, tonight, I want to see how this game is tonight. LeBron's not playing, so, I mean, obviously it's shifted to the Pelicans.
AD neither. AD's not playing.
Well, I mean, the Pelicans will win this game then. There's no doubt because the Lakers are dog shit without those two guys. And if we lose, we got to really take a look in the mirror. But I think this team has a roster that can win a championship.
If we lose, we're having a show right after.
We should, yeah, absolutely. But, I mean – But look, Richie, I'll stand by my story. This team is built to win a championship if they stay healthy. There's no reason you can tell me that Denver won last year, and there's not a lot of difference in talent between that roster and this roster. Both are very deep. Both have a lot of young talent.
But the difference is, Dave, we don't have Jokic.
Yeah.
I mean, look, but they have their dynamic. They learned how to put that offense through Jokic and Murray.
Huh?
I mean, Jokic is a that dude's stuff. I mean, that's a super.
Exactly.
Oh no, he's amazing, but. He's amazing. No, but look, Rich, what I was getting at last night, though, that Dallas game, did y'all see the missed call, the flag that didn't the 2-point conversion?
Oh, it was horrible, dude. Horrible.
That's what I was getting at. I wanted to talk. Look, when y'all were going to Pelicans, look, I'm going to keep going with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey,
So, Dave, you gave you talking about that play, and Ryan Clark did a great analogy of it after late last night. And believe it or not, the guy they called on the penalty on, he didn't need to line up on. He was on the line. The receiver was back. So he didn't even have to report as eligible.
So Ryan Clark cleared it up with that, I guess.
Absolutely.
I got you.
It shouldn't have been a penalty at all.
Yeah. Because everybody, dude, it's been. Listen, man, I don't know if y'all. I watched a lot of that game. Like I said, I fell asleep in the final few minutes, but it was a love fest for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, let's be real.
Sure.
Troy Aikman there, the Jimmy
flag
Johnson
was
thing.
thrown. The flag was thrown. They said 16 seconds after the play.
Listen,
Hey, look, Dan Campbell was about to go in there like fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin, coming out with his music and the beers going. Dude, Dan Campbell was about to whip everybody's ass.
Let me tell you.
after that
Hey, look.
game.
Let me tell you what we sitting here talking about coaches. Let's give this guy some credit. He went off on a reporter because he was so heated. But in the same sentence, he actually apologized right after it happened.
Oh, I love this
to the
guy. Yeah, he's one of my favorite coaches around right now, and I'm saying that because he was a Saint assistant. I mean, he's awesome.
But Dave, and I think Fatty will all agree, you kicked the field goal and tied the game.
I look, if you watching that game, he was going for broke. I think he was trying to send a message to his team.
He went for two. The way it happened, he went for two. Okay, they were on where we were at, Dave, like on the 5 yard line.
Yeah, they got a penalty. They were backed up.
They went for two. It was 20-19 when they scored. Okay, 2019. They're going for the extra point. Well, Dan Campbell went to win the game. He went for 2-point conversion. Well, they were called illegal procedure. Guy didn't check in. So now they move him back 5 more yards.
10 yards out, 2019.
10 yards out. Yes, 10 yards. I'm sorry, 10 yards out. And he still went for 2.
Okay.
Instead of tying the game. He should have tied the game.
Yeah, he should have tied the game. I didn't watch it, but yeah.
In a playoff game,
Thank you, Fatty. You're right. He should have kicked the field goal. I mean,
and I'm not saying 100% go that way, but if that game the whole night, he was being aggressive. He was trying to – I think he was sending a message to his team, look, we're already in the playoffs. We're no worse than the 3rd seed. I want something more from you guys. This is the kind of shit we're going to deal with in the postseason. Tough decisions. We have to come through in clutch moments. I think he was trying to put his team
the way they were playing though, Detroit was amped up, man. Their defense was playing a little better. They could have kicked the extra point, tied the game up, and
I agree with it after the penalty. He should have
exactly. After the penalty, I mean, Dave.
I think he let it get the best of him a little bit. I do. I mean, I think, but it's one of those things. If you, it's almost like I think he's juggling in his mind. Hey, if we still pull this shit off and win this game, what does that tell us about ourselves as a team? I mean, I don't know, dude. They're not likely to get the number.
But Dave, you would agree after the penalty, push it back 10 more yards. You just kicked the field goal.
Look, Richie, if they needed that game to get in the playoffs, then yeah, I'm on him a little more. But they didn't need that game per se.
Yeah, well, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but you still want to win it. So maybe he didn't want to go into overtime. Maybe that could have been it.
Yeah, I mean, you do. But if that was the difference between you making or not making the playoffs, then yeah, Dan Campbell's getting a lot of shit. Yeah.
Speaking of Dallas, I'm gonna go on record right now. Dallas goes into Tampa first the wild card weekend loses.
No,
I think Tampa's gonna beat Dallas. I really do.
No,
you think who?
I think Tampa can beat Dallas.
No.
Dave, what you think?
Richie, I think it'll be a good game because you know what matchup I like is their corners with Gilmore and Bland against Godwin and Mike Evans. That'll be a fun matchup, dude. And Michael, I mean, I don't know if they have an answer for Michael Parsons. I don't know who does, but I don't know, man. Mayfield, he's hard to bet against right now because he's on a little bit of a roll, man. I mean, look at his kid's numbers. I mean, he's like 30 probably, but look at his numbers this year, man. He's really having a hell of a season, man. You know, I mean, Baker Mayfield, what's he got, like 26 touchdowns, like 8 picks, QBRs up there.
Stretch, but I mean,
Jared says, so what we need for the Saints to win the division? We don't want them to win the division.
A miracle.
A quarterback, and coach.
Yeah. Tampa's got to lose twice. Tampa has to lose the Saints and lose to Carolina next week.
I don't think Tampa Bay is losing to them.
I don't. No.
That might be the problem, Chris. I don't doubt. Listen, and it's funny. Carolina's a shit team, but let's be real. That interim coach, that's probably his last chance. He's going to get to be a head coach anytime soon. And they would love to be spoilers going. I mean, they had nothing else to cheer about in that team.
This is what the Saints would do: is win a game where they just need to lay down and just take your draft pick. But they would go out and try to say, "I am woman, hear me roar" type, stuff. Win this game,
right?
I don't know,
Chris, when you see the perfect scenario is you beat Tampa today and you're impressive, you lights out. Tampa loses against Carolina and you fuck up the game against Atlanta next week. Wouldn't that be typical Dennis Allen Saints?
That would be like what the Saints would do is they would pull themselves just far enough to get out of those nice quarterbacks that are going to probably be sitting there into another miserable year. I mean, that's what the Saints would do.
I could see that happening, dude. I could see that.
But I
happening.
tell you what, if you want to, I tell you one thing. I think we can all agree. If you want to beat, if you want to, boost the morale with season ticket holders, if they draft Jaden Daniels,
it will. Yeah,
hands down.
but
they don't even have to boost. They're already sold out.
But
I don't think they're
like me and Dave
nothing.
said, not with this stupid ass coaching staff.
I just think you're not losing season tickets holders.
I hate to say it, y'all. I think he ends up in Atlanta, and I hate to say that, but I think he ends up in Atlanta.
Unless Saints move up.
Wow.
Saints fans are going to be pissed hearing that, dude, but I could see this shit almost happening, dude. Atlanta's going to be bold. They're going to be bold. They got a good team in place, dude. They made a lot of good moves under Terry Fontenot. They got a defense that's playing well with Bates back there in the secondary. With what's the kid from Clemson? I'm having a blank. The corner, he's really good. I'm just fucking having a mind blank. But look at the guys they got from us: Caden Ellis, Anyamata.
Wow,
they got good players. They got a good offensive line.
Randy says Saints will win out. Oh my God! And win the first
what?
And get blown out in the first round of the playoffs, just like Georgia.
AJ Terrell, man. I had to bring AJ Terrell.
Hey, y'all. Hey, isn't that the same
name.
Florida team y'all said deserved to be in the playoffs?
What's that now?
Blown out. They got blown off the field.
But look, Rich, this Atlanta thing, dude. Does Atlanta not have the best juice to go get Jaden Daniels right now? Do they not have the best situation? I think they have the best situation.
If we got to hit them, how?
Because I'm gonna tell you what. Because you got a young core with Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Drake.
Yeah, but if you
drafted
ahead of them, they're gonna have to move ahead of you.
No, but Richie, I'm saying Atlanta would be smart to lose these last two games and bump up their stock, and then they get a spot where they can trade up into one of those top 4 picks.
Okay, but you're saying if they're ahead of the Saints, what if they're not ahead of the Saints?
Well, here's the problem: the Saints got to do. How are you going to get there if you're the Saints? If Atlanta's got a worse record, if they're willing to bet the farm, we can't bet the farm. We can't give up 3 first-round picks like Atlanta can, or 2 first-round picks. We don't have the same young core in place. We have an aging roster.
You never thought you'd see yourself rooting for Atlanta and against the Saints all at the same time, huh?
Oh, Fatty, why you got to bring that up?
and just going to get a higher draft stock.
The fucked up part is that they do everything y'all want. Okay, Jaden Daniels is still available. They move up past him.
I think Dave's right on when I think really with Justin Fields being from the Atlanta area, I think they're gonna make a move for him.
They could, but you can't let your heart. Richie, I get it, and I'm not saying it's a bad move. I'm with you on that. It's a good move as well. But I don't know, Jaden Daniels for me. I just look at his team. Imagine what he could do with Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London going forward.
So Dave, you don't think Atlanta would take a number 1 overall pick for Justin Fields right now?
Oh no, absolutely no. But what I'm saying is, look at Atlanta's fit. It just feels. I hate to say it. We used to say this in Tampa, and this is going to be my anger, the Winston fans moment. But in Tampa, we kept saying for years, man, look at this loaded team. If they ever get a fucking quarterback, they're going to be dangerous. So what do they do to get Tom Brady at 43? They win a Super Bowl, and they're a juggernaut, since winning the division every year. So here we are. I'm saying this about Atlanta right now. It's a scary situation because they have the best setup of anybody in the division.
So if Atlanta
they have the best roster going.
So Dave, Atlanta or H2, you can answer this either one. If Atlanta has the choice between Jaden Daniels and Justin Fields, who they get?
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
You think? I think they go Justin Fields because he's a hometown kid.
No. I think it's about what you have to give up as well, Richie. If Jaden Daniels,
hear me out. You just said if they're in position to draft Jaden Daniels, you're giving that. You basically have the choice. You draft Jaden Daniels, or you give that first-round pick to Atlanta.
What you mean? Wait. We were talking about who are we talking about?
What I'm saying is, if Jaden Daniels is there, and Atlanta has their first-round pick, but Chicago wants a first-round pick, it's their choice. Give the first-round pick to Chicago because you was going to draft Daniels anyway. If you want Justin Fields, I'm saying.
Well, I think you got to play it this way. You got to listen to what's going on in the other general manager war rooms because
it's going to cost you a first-round pick either way to get either quarterback. Is what I'm saying, Dave.
But Richie, here's what I'm saying though. But that number 1 spot, look what Carolina's just how they fucked themselves giving up DJ Moore and all these picks. You have to look around and say, hey, if Caleb Williams is number 1, Drake May is number 2 on the board for a lot of these GMs. Well, we got to play it smart. We know the Giants aren't drafting the quarterbacks. They got $160 million invested in Daniel Jones, and they need a lot of help in other areas. So you got to look at, hey, I want to give up the least amount possible to get Jaden Daniels, if that makes any sense.
Look, Randy,
you can't give up the farm to move to 5.
No, Randy did not bring up a good point. I was just laughing at that. Don't say that, dude.
He did. I think AK wants out.
No.
He may want out, but we'd be stupid to let him go.
I think AK wants out.
Let me ask you this: 2nd round pick right now. Do you give up Kamara for a second?
No.
Yes.
No.
All day.
I would. I would. I'd take a shot with Kendrick Miller, and
he's not beat up. That's why I'd keep him. He's not a beat up guy.
And guess who would take him probably?
Sean Payton.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely he would. Let me ask you this. Throw another name at you. Would you trade Marshawn Lattimore for a first?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
I would as well.
Yes.
I would as well. So I think you really, and Saints fans have got to understand this. There's going to be some names we were familiar with for many years that might not be here next year, and it might be the smart moves.
And I think you can get a first rounder for Lattimore.
I think you can too. He's going to be. I think he's 27, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's got. Let's be real. He might have 3 really good years left in him. That 30-year-old area.
You know who I think is going to come after him with a young team. I really think Detroit's going to come after Lattimore.
That would make a hell of a lot of sense. It would. It would. They need a lockdown corner in the worst way possible.
Yes, they do. And I think
and Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn, let's be real, who worked with him all those years in the defensive backfield? Aaron Glenn. So if Aaron Glenn's still there next year, which he might get a head coaching job, but even though Dan Campbell's not stupid, he's looking at that. I mean, why would if you're Detroit, you're a contender at this point. Why would you not give up like the 25th or 28th pick or whatever you're going to have?
So I think there's plenty of pieces. Go ahead, H. Go ahead.
What is everybody saying in these comments down here? I'm seeing a lot of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with everybody.
It's fucking Richie's fault, man. It's Richie's fault.
Somebody said Russell Wilson's going to Atlanta.
Yeah, and I'm like, to Atlanta.
The problem. Okay, let's go back to the Russell. It's his money situation that no one's going to mess with.
The Atlanta Falcons have Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, all at the average age of 22. They're not going to go take a 32-year-old
honestly, but to be honest, Russell Wilson would make them a better team that they are now. But it's better than Ritter.
No. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Russell Wilson over.
I think listen to me.
Hold on. Let me finish what I was gonna say. It's the money. If you could get him on a cheap, it'd be one thing. Yeah. But you're not going to be able to get this guy on a cheap. So
go ahead, H.
Gonna make it hard.
I know what you're trying. I get and understand what you're saying. But the Atlanta Falcons are a young team heading in the right direction, and adding a 32-year-old quarterback that's his prime is gone, that has probably 0 years left in him to be anything producible on the field, it would just hurt the Falcons in the long run. You need to just go take the quarterback, build the young core all together. Not having this aged quarterback, young platform of a team, you're going in different directions.
I'll give you a team that'll take a dive at. I'll give you a team that'll take a dive at Russell Wilson, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's the money.
It makes a lot of sense.
But it's the money. How's their money? Russell.
But remember, Fatty, he's going to be getting paid $34 million from Denver no matter what, or whether that dead money deal is. So he could come in kind of cheap for somebody else.
That's if they cut him. If they don't
they cut him. They're definitely cutting him.
Yeah, they got to cut him.
He could sign a 2-year team-friendly deal in a place that he wants to go. Let's say he does.
That'll be the question. Would he want to want?
No team with the trifecta of what they have at an average age of 22 years old. And I'm making whatever. But they're relatively all young. Is not signing a fucking 4-year-old quarterback.
Now, Chris, here, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for 1 second.
So H, you don't think he's gonna be a starter anywhere in the league?
No,
he'll start.
He might start.
I think he'll start. I think he'll start. I think he'll be a starter.
Well, you can't do the Panthers.
I think it's going to be Pittsburgh. I'm telling you. I think it's going to be Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense, man. Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Washington, you're right. That's about
Isn't Russ from the D.C. area? Isn't Russ from the D.C. area somewhere? I think that's where he's from.
I don't tie into all that crap.
No. I don't get into that too much. But let's look at. Okay, at this point, he wants to be happy. He's accomplished. He won his Super Bowl. He's got a shit ton of money. Let's throw that Atlanta thing in here for a second. And I'm not saying Atlanta makes any sense.
But he ain't getting it.
He's not going to Atlanta. He ain't going to Atlanta.
No, but I'm whoever made the comment, I see where they're going at with
New
this.
England.
What's
New
that?
England?
New England.
I don't think New England wastes their time. I think New England's in prime position to get a franchise quarterback. I think they got to go get a Drake May or Caleb or Jaden
Well, they
Daniels.
will now if they fire Bill Belichick. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where it's going. They're going to get a younger coach.
They're
go
not
draft a
firing
franchise
him.
quarterback.
They are mutually parting ways.
Well, whatever you want to dress it up as, out of the respect. But anyways,
No, look. Hey, that
Well,
Atlanta thing, I wouldn't kill that Atlanta thing
fire
just
a
yet.
6-time Super Bowl champion?
But listen, I'm not going to kill the Atlanta
it's
thing
easy
just
when you
yet.
don't have Tom Brady.
Huh?
It's easy when you don't have Tom Brady.
But look, Richie, I'm not going to kill the Atlanta thing just yet, and I'll tell you why.
Hey, somebody said he's better than Carr.
I mean, he might be. I mean, look. Here's my thing. Look, I'm not going to kill the Atlanta thing, and I'm going to tell you why. This is why I don't kill the Atlanta thing. Listen, hear me out.
What's up, Fatty?
I'm going to throw a couple reasons out here why I don't kill Atlanta. Okay, what does Atlanta have struggles with more than anything besides winning? Obviously, what do they have struggles with? They got a brand new shiny stadium. They cannot fill that son of a bitch up for nothing. What does Russell Wilson do? He's a name from day one. Okay? No, but he's a name. He is a name. Let's be real. Ciara, she got her music started in Atlanta. Russell's a big name. Let's say this, and I'm not saying it's a smart move for the team, but what if
Boy,
you sign him
H,
for
we
a
got to eat
2-year?
crow.
Huh?
I said, me and H got to eat crow if he winds up in Atlanta. We got to eat a lot.
No,
of crow.
but here's my thing. No, and I'm not saying he will, but I see that whoever commented on that, I've thought that same shit through my head. What if you sign him to a 2-year team-friendly deal? You draft a Jaden Daniels. Maybe you feel for some reason Jaden Daniels has to sit behind Russ for a year.
H, that is a possibility. They still can draft a young quarterback.
I don't think
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't turn the page on that.
Allow it.
Oh, if you can get him for $3 million or $5 million, sure, but he ain't gonna sign.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Chris. I don't think his egos or his wife will allow it.
But I mean, hey, she's got the connection to Atlanta, man. She's got a connection to Atlanta.
the wife card.
Look, let's be real. Arthur Blank could give him like 10 Home Depots or some shit. I mean, we don't really know what goes behind closed doors, but he might take that team-friendly deal, mentor a guy like it. Look, you just talk about how good of a character he is. Why not have a Jaden Daniels or a Penix or somebody learn under Russell Wilson for a year?
We're talking about the Russell. Why don't we? Do you think that Tampa's going to give Baker Mayfield a long-term deal?
I don't.
I would.
I don't know. It'd be a long-term deal, but it.
I think they're going to get duped into it. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to break the bank with him, though.
No, I don't.
They're not going to break the bank. They could get him a
like
long deal, but
3 year,
reasonable.
3 years, $60 million, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
65.
I think they can work
This will
around
be his
that.
last run. This will be his last good contract.
Yeah,
And then
I agree.
Next year, and then they'll be looking. The Tampa Bay they'll get this little sprinkle of whatever you call this year miracle with him. They'll get duped into paying him. He plays like crap next year. You just can't change what you always were in 4 games. In 4 games, it's been phenomenal.
But remember, this guy's a number 1 pick, man. I mean, he's.
Hey, I'm going on record right now for 2024 season. I'm calling it right now. Mike Evans will be a Kansas City Chief next year.
He might be. I'll tell you this, man. We're going to have to deal with him and Chris Godwin today. Rashad White's been really good this year. I mean, let's be real. Let's give this team credit. I think they still struggle a little bit in that secondary, but they're really good in most areas on the field, man. And it's, that front seven's still legit. I mean, there's an offensive line that we thought was bad many years ago and realized why it ain't now. But I mean, they're a solid. They're a talented team. They are. They have some holes, but I don't think they're going anywhere this year. But they're definitely a team that's a tough matchup for us today. I mean, this isn't going to be easy.
I think of this year, the owners are going to kind of step back and look at these contracts they're giving these quarterbacks, because look at all these guys that got these big contracts. Where are they right now? Hurt or not even making the playoffs?
Yeah,
I think they're going to start reevaluating. Like we look, Russell Wilson, all that money, where you at? Joe Burrow, the local
I kind of
hero.
disagree
Joe
with you, Patty.
Burrow.
I wish NFL contracts was 100% guaranteed.
That's
Oh,
stupid.
no, you don't.
Wait,
I do.
you want him to be 100%?
It works for the NBA. It works for the NBA.
No, it don't.
No, it don't. Well for the Cleveland Browns
It don't.
right now.
It don't work for the NBA.
The NBA's on a decline, dude. No,
No,
one
it's
watches.
not. Stop, Fatty.
No,
No one
hey, Fatty, I'll
watches
say
it.
this. Fatty, I had
Do
this
you realize
conversation on another
the
podcast.
ratings for your in-season tournament was high?
Yeah, the NBA is in a better place than it was 5 years ago. I'll say that.
Absolutely.
No one watched it on Christmas Day. No one watches.
That's true. That is true.
Well, no, but I mean, the problem is you're going against the number one sport, and it's late in the
We're
season.
we're not saying it's more popular than NFL, Fatty.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the
But
NBA,
Unlike the NFL, the NBA don't have any superstars anymore. All
I
the
promise you, the
superstars are
NBA.
gone.
I promise you, the NBA is making more money than they did in the '90s. I can promise you.
They
that.
don't have superstars like they used to.
No, I'll say this with the NBA.
They what?
No, there's players.
don't.
There's definitely players.
They what?
They may have
They
a
don't have
handful, but how many players can you name now compared to in the 90s?
Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Y'all talking about '80s and '90s.
No.
players.
And
Stop,
Fatty, no,
stop.
I'm gonna agree but disagree. I love the '90s. I think it's the best era
Or
of
not even
basketball.
like let's say
Right.
up to maybe 12 years ago.
There
No,
isn't a
but
player.
here's the problem.
There isn't
Go
a
ahead.
player in the. There isn't a player in the '80s and '90s that can stop Jokic. I can promise you that.
Yeah, but
Hold
there's
on,
no,
hold on.
I'm not saying
Hakeem
there
Olajuwon.
isn't, but there's-
I'm with Fatty. Boston and Minnesota are both leading. And listen, I don't watch NBA, but who the hell is Boston have?
Okay, I tell you what.
I'm
I
gonna
tell
tell
you,
you, let me-
we're gonna do a Dave. We're gonna do a show on that. I'll give you
We do.
every player. Listen, we're gonna do a show on that. I'll give you every player from the '80s and '90s. You give me every player. I get to pick any player from 2000 on.
yeah, but
Hold on, Richie.
you trying to
I can't
compare
name
stats.
one
We're talking
player.
about popularity. The popularity ain't what it used to be in the
I
NBA.
can't name
What?
one player on the Boston
But Fatty,
Celtics or
go
the
ahead, Chris,
Minnesota Timberwolves, and they're both leading in the Eastern and Western Conference.
right.
But what player on those teams right now, help me, I'm asking seriously, who would have stacked up in the 90s against those guys?
I'd say Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a baller, dude. Anthony Edwards.
Luka is a beast.
But okay, to be fair, Dave, you're a sports
Who's on
guy,
that?
so I would
No,
expect.
I know what you're saying. I mean, look, I think here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this too, because same with baseball, because I know a lot of people are casual baseball fans. In the '90s, they knew Ken Griffey Jr., Roger Clemens, Greg Maddux, Nolan Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Sandberg, whoever.
Household name.
Now in baseball, there's a lot of players, like a lot of guys, like, hey, who the hell's Paul Goldschmidt? Or who the hell's this Zach Gallen guy for the Diamondbacks? It's weird because football has become such a dominant force because of fantasy, because of betting. Look, you only got to watch one game a week. People have no fucking attention spans. People aren't going to watch 162 games or 82 games too often, except if you're a really legit hardcore fan.
Oh, well, unless you go to it, go watch it live too.
Well, look, Fatty, I want to say what you said because you make a good point. I always state, and I'm gonna agree and disagree. The '90s to me was the best era of basketball, in my opinion. I'll never go against that. But I think the down period of NBA was the years after Jordan. I think even with LeBron and Kobe and some guys like Tim Duncan, I think the league, it was always the same two fucking teams every year. I think the NBA is on an incline now.
Are you saying you think the
2000s
talent
was
was better back in the '80s and '90s?
I think the talent in the '90s was better. Look, here's my thing. Now,
Because we all use the analogy. The players today are much stronger, faster, and better.
But they're
so
less
here's
skilled.
where I'm gonna get. That's where I'm gonna get
Less
to right now.
skilled.
Yes.
Shooting's better today than it was in the '80s and '90s. I
Well,
promise
that's
you that.
all they do. I guess when you practice shooting all
Isn't
day and
basketball
no
shoot?
defense,
Isn't
yeah, I
basketball?
guess so.
Isn't basketball a shooting game?
I'll take Reggie Miller right now.
Yeah,
over
but okay,
Reed.
but look at the
He
shooting
overstepped
percentages.
Curry, I'll
It's
take Reggie Miller.
horrible.
Right. No, and I agree with Chris is saying there too.
If you took away the dunk in the '80s and '90s and made them guys shoot, they would be miserable.
Look, Richie,
They
here's
did
my
more
thing.
shooting though. What are you talking about?
But
They
Richie,
do
here's
more
my thing.
shooting. What?
They shot way
The
better.
greatest
back then.
shooter in NBA history is playing in the era
They
today.
attack the basket
Who?
more now
The
than
greatest,
ever.
Steph
Oh,
Curry.
Steph. Yeah, no. I mean, look, Steph. I get the Steph thing, I do, but I think Steph would have had a struggle in the '90s a little bit. I think in the '90s he'd have been playing against a 6'6" guy.
I think Darren just made a great thing. I think we need to look at the talent in America right now because if you took a team right now and took the international players versus the American players, they would dog
Good
us.
point. No,
Well,
and
they
Richie,
have.
here's my point.
And
I want to
even
make
in
with
baseball,
this.
even in baseball, Dave, your favorite
I know.
sport.
Oh no, absolutely. But here's my thing about the NBA. The NBA to me had a little bit of a down period for about 10 years or so. I think right now, here's what changed the NBA for me. Like when Fatty was talking about who's the superstars, I think you just adopted a bunch of them in the last few years. I think Ja, as much of an asshole as he is, he's a superstar. Luka, bona fide superstar. Zion, if he stays healthy, bona fide superstar. I see some guys coming in like Victor Wembanyama. I think it's gonna be a year or two, but
I think
the
Here's the
talent is
problem.
really
I-
high
listen,
right now.
Dave, I think
It
you would
wasn't
agree.
that high
with me.
5 or 6 years ago,
Dave,
but it's
I think
high
you
right
would.
now.
Dave, I think you agree with me. I think Luka could play in any era. That dude's a
Oh,
monster.
Luka would be great in any era.
But
I think
guys-
Zion would be great. I think Ja would be great. I think there's a lot of these guys that would be great. And I think that's what makes Zion so great is he's a throwback to the
Hey,
90s
what do
style
you mean? You don't
basketball
agree with that?
No, but you guys,
What's that?
God, I mean, I could name 10 centers back in those days that we ain't even got centers nowadays.
Yeah.
Point guards.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Zion's like nowhere near fucking Larry Johnson. I mean,
Zion would have been a power
no.
forward
Come on, Chris.
back in the 90s. He would have
I
been
think
a
Zion
center.
was. I think Zion's very much like Larry Johnson.
There isn't a big man back then as big as Kevin Durant is that could shoot like that. No. No.
Seriously?
Wait, back when?
You name me a 7-footer. You name me a 7-footer from the 80s and 90s that can shoot like Kevin Durant.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
He ain't a 7-footer.
No, he's 7 foot. Yeah,
Wait.
he's 7
You
foot.
think Hakeem Olajuwon? You think Dave? You're gonna sit there and tell me?
No, their games are different. Their games are a lot different.
No.
But
I'm
Hakeem could
saying
hit.
just pure shooting. I'm saying just pure
Patrick
shooting.
Ewing could shoot.
But Kevin Durant's not even
On
a
Kevin
center.
Durant's level.
Yes,
No,
Kevin Durant.
No. Here's my thing. But
Was he
these
a
guys were a
forward?
lot better rebounders. They were better post guys, but they could
Dave,
shoot
I
their
said
ass
a
off.
better shooter at a 7-footer in 80s and 90s than Kevin Durant.
Who played
Man.
center?
Jordan?
It's look, dude. There's.
Bird?
I mean,
Dave, you'd agree with me. Kevin Durant's one of the better
no.
shooters.
Kevin Durant's one of the best. I think he's one of the best, like top 15 players of all time. I do. I feel that way. I don't like his attitude. I think he's a little bitch underneath it all because he whines and pisses and he moans. But
He's a forward now, right?
yeah,
Kevin Durant's a forward.
yeah.
Okay. Tim Duncan.
Who?
Dirk Nowitzki.
Tim Duncan's Dirk Nowitzki.
They couldn't shoot the ball like Kevin Durant. Tim Duncan
No,
never
and I
shot.
see what you
Tim
mean.
Duncan never
Like-
shot a. Tim Duncan never shot a three. Tim Duncan was never good at shooting threes.
Look,
Scottie
Richie, the
Pippen.
styles are different. The styles are different. Kevin
Dave,
Durant can
I'm
hit those
saying,
off
I get
balance.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Style. I'm saying
Yeah.
pure shooting.
No.
Scottie Pippen.
Listen, dude, I'm always
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What was Reggie Miller?
shooting guard.
Okay.
Oh,
So Dave,
He was like a 6'7",
Dave, would
6'8"
you
shooting
agree?
guard, whatever he was.
Larry
Dave, would you-
Bird, Larry
Dave,
Bird
would you
was a
listen-
power forward.
Y'all not listening to anything I just said.
As a
Dave,
shooter,
would
no.
you
Look,
agree? Dave, would you agree? Kevin Durant is the best 7-foot shooter in NBA history.
Probably
I'd have
so.
to go back and look though.
Probably so. And the reason, Richie, and this is why I say, and it's a different style of shooting. It's like, and I know it sounds funny, but like the Jordan style, like he was the closest thing. Okay, he was almost like Brandon Ingram. Watch BI. I always say he's like another version of Durant to a certain degree because he can hit those tough
I
contested
agree with
shots,
that.
those off balance shots. I mean, look, Hakeem was a phenomenal fucking player, but Hakeem wasn't hitting. Doesn't have the same agility. I guess. I mean, he was a center, but Hakeem at center is way light years above any center in the league today. I'll say that. I think Jokic is a great player, but Hakeem would own Jokic in a series.
Sean Bradley is way ahead of you centers in today's game. And I'm saying Sean.
Nah, I don't know. I think you might be stretching it there, dog.
What
Nah.
centers? What dominant centers out there right now? I mean, help me. I'm serious.
Jokic,
I couldn't
Nikola
even tell you.
Jokic. I mean,
Giannis.
Jokic. I would say Anthony Davis to me is a 5. I would say because I mean, as much as you don't like AD, when he's healthy, he's a bad dude. He is. I mean, I don't think he would have held a flame to Hakeem Olajuwon
Listen,
or.
I was an Olajuwon fan, but statistically, no center, and I mean no center in the history of the NBA is putting up Jokic's numbers. None of them.
No, but Richie, no, and I agree, and there's something to be said for that. But the game is a lot different now. It's a lot more of an offensive game.
Many talented teams. I mean, you got
Yeah.
Minnesota right now who has Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards. Get the fuck
No,
out.
Anthony Edwards is a badass dude. Anthony Edwards is a great fucking player. I'll say that. I don't like Minnesota, but he's a fucking phenomenal
You had the
player.
Suns. I mean, you had the Sonics who had Kemp and Detlef Schrempf. You had.
I think what it was, I think we watched it more. And I'm going to say this, Chris, I agree. I think the league was more physical. I think there were better teams top to bottom at that point. I think there's
Give
too many
me a
weak-ass
young
teams
Shaq.
now.
I'll take
I'm not-
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Look, no, I agree with
Y'all gonna
Chris right there.
I guess y'all use the analogy of older guys always this. Oh, I'm sorry. That's
because
just like
it was
the NFL
more
right now. Some of them
physical
older
back
guys-
then. It's
some of them
not
older.
physical.
I just say like this: some of them older guys in the NFL couldn't exist today. They couldn't.
The guys have a green light to shoot because you can't play defense.
Some of them, listen, I say this, some of them, other than Lawrence Taylor and maybe a few of them guys from the 80s and 90s, they just wasn't fast enough and big enough to compete today in the NFL.
What?
They were
Yeah,
killing
they
them.
were tougher. They were tougher.
They were tougher?
Yes, they were way tougher. Absolutely.
Why do y'all use that analogy that they were tougher?
Because they
Because I think we lack toughness as a society.
Ronnie
nowadays.
Lott
I
cut his
think.
fucking finger off.
But
and
you
went
can't
back into a
sneeze on a
game,
quarterback.
dude.
I mean, Richie, look at your boy LeBron. LeBron gets a foul and he goes running into the stands, tumbling. If he
LeBron-
gets
No,
up,
no,
Yeah,
no. I'm not.
LeBron gets
I'm,
a
I'm
hangnail
using.
and he's
I'm
out
using an
3 games.
NFL analogy. I'm saying.
no, I mean, but even NFL, look how pussified as a. I mean, look, let's be real. I mean, you don't see too many Nolan Ryans out there getting hit in the face with a line drive and throwing the next pitch like 5 minutes
I
later.
just think.
I mean-
I just think people just diminish the talent today that we're seeing in the NFL. That's all.
But
You know, Richie, no, I
the
think.
same rules anymore.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
get it.
it's a lot more favorable
Because
for
it's a business. Because it's a business. Because it's a business. Because nobody wants to watch.
Okay,
Nobody
so
wants.
you can't compare the old rules with the new rules because it's a different game.
That don't mean they're not more talented.
Well, for those set of rules, maybe not. But
Yeah, but I mean, look at you can't sneeze on a quarterback.
Fatty, you got guys. You may have guys that you think are better than others. Most people have got Jerry Rice as the greatest receiver to play the game. Correct.
Yeah.
no, I don't. Football's a
I
different
do.
sport. You
I
gotta-
To me, the
I
greatest receiver to
definitely
play the
do.
game
When
is
it comes
Terrell
to
Owens.
football,
That's my
football's the
receiver.
one
goodness.
sport where you have to judge by position.
So-
You can't judge by he's the greatest football player all time. I don't compare Lawrence Taylor to Tom Brady. There's
Right.
just
I
no
never
way.
did. I thought. All right. Well, listen. I know a receiver that you like, Fatty,
No.
and his character was horrible.
Jerry Rice is my favorite
Nope.
of all time.
You loved Randy Moss. I remember.
I was never a really Randy Moss fan, no, dude.
That's
Randy
the
was
biggest
a top
joke.
five.
Randy
He's top
Moss.
five.
Randy Moss.
Touchdown.
Randy
And he
Moss
hung
does
up
not
big.
deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Period.
What?
Ooh,
No,
what?
that's fucking.
Really?
I
Come on.
seen my own eyes Randy Moss take plays off, not try several times.
Well,
But
that
Richie,
don't take
I mean,
away what he did, though. I mean,
I still think he's a top 5 receiver of all time.
yeah. So is
No.
Deion Sanders. As much as you
Yeah.
hate him, he's in the hall and he deserves it.
What?
Talking about someone who took off. I mean,
I think Deion. I listen. Just because I don't like Deion's character, I'm on record. I think Deion Sanders is the greatest NFL player to ever play the game. Period.
you see, you judge it by greatest play. You can't do that. Football's different than any other sport. You got to
Because I
judge
think
by
it-
position. I'm not going to
I
compare
guess-
offensive lineman to a
I
receiver.
guess what I
and who
guess
was
I
the
judge
best player.
what I judge. I don't know if H you agree with me. What I judge a player on is was he the best at any point of his playing career? Was he the best at his position at any time?
Who?
Any player.
Yeah.
To consider somebody all-time great, you got to be the best at your position at some point in your career.
No,
And
but
that's what I
Richie,
say about the-
and this is where I
and
disagree.
Not really, no.
Drew, and listen, and that's why I say about Drew Brees. I get Drew Brees is behind the 8 ball because of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. But at no point listen, this is a fact. At no point of Drew Brees' career was he's ever considered the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, he was.
But Richie,
No, he was not.
let me
Never.
ask you this.
Never.
Yeah,
Never.
he was.
When?
He was.
When?
Did he get any?
No, he was
anything
not.
for it?
Dave would agree with me.
but-
No, he was not. Absolutely, he was not.
Dude, people used to say Brady, him, and Manning were the top 3 quarterbacks
Stop.
in the
Come
league.
on,
most of the
Fatty.
But Richie, I think you could be an all-time great and still be considered not the best guy at your position. I think that, you know what I'm saying? I think that's hard on a player. I mean, let's be real.
I'm
If
saying
a
what I
guy
mean
plays
by that,
15
David.
years,
What I
20
mean by that
years.
is to be in the top 5, like what you just said.
I mean, to me, I got Breeze in the top 5 all
Yeah,
time.
I do
stats
too.
alone-
I do too. I do
stats
too. I
alone
do too.
should put him in the top 5.
I got him 5.
I
You
don't.
don't?
Yeah, and I that's probably where I have him as well. I mean, I got John Elway ahead of him. I've got, Tom Brady ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? For sure. I mean, those are 2 guaranteed guys I got.
Troy
I think Elway's one of the
Troy
best ever.
Aikman shouldn't even be in the top
I
10.
have Montana ahead of Brady.
Well, it's top 10.
Okay, I have Montana in front of Brady.
What?
I mean, to me, what I like about, I mean, look, it's a good topic to talk about, but it's hard to compare these eras. It
different
really is.
time. Different
I got-
different time, dude.
I mean,
The only sport you could definitely
I
do
got
is
a guy- I got a
baseball,
guy on
where
my
it's
top-
really lopsided.
I got a guy in my top 5 that maybe won a Super Bowl, Dan Marino. So
Well, a lot of people.
Yeah,
do.
No, I mean, Marino, it's a good argument. But I'm saying baseball is the only sport you could say, hey, everybody says Babe Ruth was the best. Well, I take a lot of bullshit with that because I'm going to tell you this. When you don't have black and Hispanic players, that's a big problem.
But
who's
I
your
also
favorite-
say for the time period he
who
was.
you think the best baseball player, Dave?
I would say that Ted Williams or Willie Mays, one of those two. Because they
Yeah.
played in an era where every race
You,
was
H?
playing,
What about you,
the
H?
game was better.
I say Babe Ruth. I say, regardless of what he's saying, you cannot physically go out there as a human being, getting as drunk as he did, smoke, eat as much bullshit as he did, go out there and just, you know what, go visit a hospital, tell a kid that, hey, you know what, I'm going to go hit 2 home runs for you. The kid says, how about 3? He goes, hits 3 home runs. You just can't That's just
No,
not.
I mean, I think Babe's special. I really do. I think he's special, Chris.
Well,
I do.
makes him special because he was the first. He
Yeah.
was the first to be.
But nobody can do what no one has ever done what he's done. And what I mean by that is live like a human being, not a machine athlete, which is, I'm not disrespecting that. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Mickey Mantle was kind of a wildcat, man. Mickey was kind of a wild dude.
Oh, all the Yankees were. Joe DiMaggio. I mean,
what Babe did is incredible. And the closest guy that I've ever seen is David Wells. Remember David Wells?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he'd come out there looking like a slob with his shirt off.
He was like a dude that's like pushing a pallet behind a Home Depot somewhere, eating a sandwich, you know, but he'd lock you down, you know.
No-hitter. I think that's incredible.
Yeah.
you see, and that's crazy for me. I couldn't tell you who I think's the best baseball player of all time. It's just that's a hard sport to judge it by because all those players can play everything but pitching.
Yeah.
You can play any position.
Not Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth could pitch too.
And
You know,
Shohei Ohtani. That's the big
yeah.
hype about Shohei Ohtani right now. He's
Listen,
the first guy since Babe, you know.
People, and I get people when people get towards the NBA, it's always one guy. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But to me, the greatest two combinations I've seen in NBA history was Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. I'm sorry.
Oh, as far as rivalry? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rivalry?
Yeah.
Well, it depends
No
on
doubt.
how you're basing it. Just two guys, or you're basing it on.
I never
teams?
seen
I mean,
them two guys for a whole decade dominated the NBA.
No doubt. I mean, and Richie, and I'll say this. Look, dude, people forget
Yeah,
how good those
Blake
guys.
and
I hear
stuff.
people say, well, they couldn't play in today's era. That's a load of shit. Magic could certainly play, and so could Larry. I mean, dude, Larry, I think people forget how good Larry Bird was. Same
Yeah.
with Charles Barkley in his prime. You know?
I tell you what, if y'all ever get a chance, go watch that series, Winning at All Costs. That is a phenomenal series.
See, actually, Richie, you know what? You made a point that you said back then those were the two rivals. Now think about what you said. Yeah, because those teams kept together, all them teams, and that's why you had that rivalry. The Lakers and the Celtics. That's all that people talk about in the 80s.
I couldn't even name an NBA rivalry right now.
Yeah, because they're all friends. They're all friends. That's the
Well,
problem.
it's because it has become a friendly league, and people don't like that. But
No, but Richie, look at the '90s too. You had those rivalries in the '90s. You had the Bulls had to overtake the Pistons. Remember early on, you had the what was it, the Miami Heat and the Knicks? Remember how many playoff fights they would have, like with PJ Brown throwing Charlie Ward to the stands and Pat Riley getting into it with players. I mean, you had those rivalries. I mean, it sucks because I wish the NBA would be more physical because I think
Listen,
I'm not saying to go hurt guys, but man, like Steph Curry, these little floaters he does in the lane and nobody touches them, that wouldn't happen in the 90s, dude. Charles Oakley or Dennis Rodman would have hit you with a clothesline and you would think twice about doing that. Just like in baseball, you're going to crowd the plate, Nolan Ryan or Roger Clemens and make your ass get off that plate.
I mean, people say about Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Larry Bird. Man, to me, honestly, if I had to give the basketball to one guy to go win the game last second, I'm taking Kobe Bryant. I'm sorry.
Over
I still got to go Michael, dude, but Kobe's not
because
far
the difference between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan did it several times.
Kobe would definitely be my number two, though. I would say
he would
he
would pass the ball to John Paxson or Steve Kerr every single time. Kobe wouldn't.
No, but he's making a smart move. He's making a smart move. If you got a 50% three-point shooter sitting out there wide open, hey,
Kobe always said, "I have only the confidence in myself, not others."
But if you go take on three defenders in a crowd,
shitty to say about your teammates.
No, he's just confident in himself. You got to be
confident
in
confident team that's helping you win championships too. I mean,
and you know what's crazy, man? We're almost at that anniversary. I mean, when Kobe he passed away, I think it was January. That was 3 years now, or has it been?
Yeah, right.
It was right when COVID all started, right? And I mean, and I tell you, man, he's a guy, dude. Listen, dude, I hate the fucking Lakers with a passion, just like the Cowboys and teams like that, but. I'll say this, man. That's one of the hardest things in sports, man, I've ever had to see. Because I'll tell you, I watch videos with this guy. I mean, I'll tell you this, man. It's hard not to be a fan of Kobe, man. Even though I hate the Lakers.
And the difference between Kobe, LeBron, and Michael Jordan is Kobe was the best shooter on his team. LeBron and Jordan wasn't.
And look, a lot of people put Kobe above LeBron. You know, some people say Kobe's the second best next to Mike. You know,
I do.
I don't know, man.
That's silly. That's just silly.
I mean, what if Kobe would have formed a super team with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh?
Listen,
you know what I mean?
listen. This is a fact. I'm going to continue to say it. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen play the game. I'm sorry, I have.
Absolutely.
But LeBron James has had the best NBA career of any player that ever played.
Because he's played longer than everybody else.
Longevity's a part of the game. Keeping yourself in shape. What's Zion's main problem?
Keeping
He can't
himself
stay
in shape
can't
and
stay healthy.
being taken off nights when he wants to. And
he doesn't go against anybody good. He just gets all those good players and have them join his team.
Exactly. Thank you, Chris.
Oh, really?
No, LeBron cheapened his legacy when he did the whole super team thing. LeBron and Cleveland, like I say to this day, I like Cleveland LeBron. I have respect for Cleveland LeBron. When he did that shit to Miami, I think that was one of the worst things I've seen in sports history.
I think what did more damage is the way he went about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And just say,
and not everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it.
It was the whole ESPN thing. If it was just a press conference, I'm leaving, guys.
Really? Nobody said nothing about Boston doing it.
It had to become a 2-hour special.
Nobody said nothing about Boston doing it.
No, but it was a little different.
What?
Look how bad that turned out, Richie.
I know. I agree.
Are we talking about the Boston when they won the one championship? No, they knew they were putting that team together for one championship.
Yeah, I mean, you had 3 aging guys at the end of their career that just wanted to win a championship.
Yeah,
but
and I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with that.
And they were Kevin Garnett. Those guys were like.
Yeah. I didn't have a problem with that because it was aging guys with one last crack at it. But when you bring 3 guys all in their prime, hey, we can't. Well, Dwayne won it on his own, basically. But the other 2, hey, we can't win our own. Let's form a super team. I hate it. And then Durant did the same thing with Golden State.
We can sit here and debate all that. I can tell you honestly, I never liked the guy, but I have Tom Brady as the GOAT of anything.
Why?
Why? Because he
did football. Absolutely, I don't put him over Michael Jordan.
He did something that I always say is just my opinion. I like seeing it done. All these all-time greats, I like to see a player go on another team and win a championship.
I give
and
him
not
that.
Be in a system for your whole career.
Well,
yeah, no, Brady's special, dude. He's an asshole, but he's special.
What?
I mean, he is.
It shows you how good he really was as a player. You could say the same thing about Montana. Montana did the same thing. Once he left San Francisco, he went to KC and did well.
Injury.
But he did not win a championship.
But it don't matter.
It does matter.
No. He still went. He did go somewhere else and succeed. He couldn't help because of injury.
Fatty, do you realize what Tom Brady did? He took a losing team and went and won.
Okay, that's people's.
But Richie, whoa, here we go.
Championships. Everything's not always based on championships. It's the small things.
But Richie,
really? Why did you use that analogy when it comes to Michael Jordan?
Because only idiots do it. I don't have.
But Richie,
Jordan shit's so good. He don't even need his championships to go.
Was he good?
I mean, championships matter, dude. But here's the thing: Tom Brady didn't take over a bad team. That was a good team. They just had a shit quarterback. And we know who that quarterback is. That everybody wanted to go to bat for as a Saints fan blindly because he's wearing black and gold uniforms. But that team he walked into was a good team.
The team that Joe Montana went to wasn't a bad team neither. You know that team?
Yeah, but I mean that Tampa team, man, dude, you got Pro Bowlers all over the place. They just didn't have the quarterback, and we know why. You know,
going to the Niners and Jerry Rice to the Chiefs.
So, Dave, you saying that Tom Brady's not the GOAT?
Oh no, I'm saying Tom Brady is good. I'm just saying that team. I'm just saying I think that team was pretty good that he walked into, and that proves I've been beating that dead horse with other podcasts.
Let me ask you this: Has it ever? Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, H. Go ahead, H. Go ahead.
I was going to say I think it showed that life after Bill Belichick was not his success wasn't due to Bill Belichick. It was truly due to because he was that great. As compared to Bill Belichick.
I will say this. I will say this. There's one guy that completely changed his sport like no other, and that would be Tiger Woods.
Well,
yeah. I mean, no doubt.
But nobody ever talks about him though.
I get that. But yeah, they just don't. There's good golfers, but it's golf.
Actually,
it's funny because he's still not considered the greatest golfer. That's crazy.
No, because Jack Nicklaus, I still think has more records and titles than Tiger Woods.
There you go back to titles. And
more wins.
Is it the fact that there hasn't been any good golfers outside of Tiger Woods, or there hasn't been any marketable?
But you know what? I don't play golf.
Has a name like Tiger Woods.
I don't play golf, but if you talk to an avid golfer, they will tell you Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer to ever play the game.
Because it's been marketed. He's got Nike. He's got a unique name called Tiger Woods.
if
He
you're
plays
going
golf
by,
extremely well.
I agree with Chris. He's the
got
first.
guys like Dustin.
Hey, y'all realize kickoffs in like 15
Yeah,
minutes.
we gotta go out, bro. Listen, Happy New Year. Look, it was so happy to have you back, H. We're gonna have you more on during the season. We know with your schedule and stuff, it's hard to bring you on. We let everybody know that. But yeah, we're glad to bring. We're gonna do some recorded shows. Fatty, all of us, we got some great ideas moving forward after the year. Listen, everybody, good luck in your fantasy. If you're in the Super Bowl, good luck in your fantasy leagues. Thank y'all for joining us. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank y'all, fellas. Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year. Let's do this.